Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about comic books,
costumes,
facts, boots,
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, All-Star Batman and Robin, the Boy Wonder.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined by the Boy Wonder to my Batman. And I know that that's low-hanging fruit for a duo, but it will make sense for this episode. Joined by Mike. Mike, how you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing okay. We took a slight hiatus.
A little bit. We had some episodes still there, but still, I mean, we had things to do.
I had to get my cyborg pieces put in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So are you still waiting on the eye part?
I am 1/4 cyborg at this point.
1/4.
1/4.
Okay.
When you add all the little pieces up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So more like Kano, less like actually cyborg.
Sure.
Mortal Kombat?
I don't know, Kane. Oh, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know, the
yeah.
guy
Okay. Yeah, until you get the eye, I don't think you can call yourself a cyborg.
Okay. I didn't know like what that line was.
I mean, that's fair, right?
I don't, yeah.
You need one laser eye.
I feel like, yeah. Do you remember, and this is kind of weird, and maybe did you ever watch Captain Planet? That's a little bit past your time.
Yeah.
But didn't that woman on there have a cyborg eye?
Maybe.
I feel like there's one, but she just had like just a little piece.
But she could only see trash.
And the rest of her, and I don't know.
Burning tires.
Wind was a power.
Wind?
Wasn't it? It was
I
earth,
don't know, man.
fire.
Wind.
Yeah, wind.
Sure.
Water.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't remember them all. I really didn't like it as a show. But
You didn't like it or you did?
I didn't.
No, it's not a great show. I did like, have you ever seen the one where Don Cheadle is Captain Planet?
Yeah, the Funny or Die skit.
That's fantastic.
No, that one is funny. I mean, I'm all for saving the environment, but
sure,
I did
But
not
not
appreciate
this
the
environment.
cartoon. Yeah, I would rather watch Moo Mesa, which was
Moo Mesa.
Yeah, do you remember Moo Mesa?
No, man.
Dude, it was cowboys that were like lawmen.
Oh, now I do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got you.
All right, but we're not talking about 90s cartoons today.
Moo Mesa.
Oh man, I almost started singing the theme song. That was one of my favorites. But we are talking about, Mike, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get you a little bit excited, right?
Yeah,
I want to amp you up for what we got.
Here we go.
I said it was related to me calling you my Robin. That's because the book we're covering today is All-Star Batman and Robin, the Boy Wonder.
Oh boy.
Now, the All-Star series started back in 2005, and it was DC basically saying, hey, let's go ahead and pair up some of our best, Moo Mesa.
I just showed him all the cowboys.
Some of the best well-known writers and artists together on a book.
Okay.
So they had like,
and this is what time frame?
2005 is when this was.
All right.
So they did All-Star Superman, which I think Grant Morrison wrote, and I can't remember who drew right offhand, but still, like everybody loved it.
Okay.
For All-Star Batman and Robin, the Boy Wonder, they said, hey, let's take Frank Miller.
Yes.
And let's take Jim Lee.
Ooh.
Who Jim Lee did when we covered The Long Halloween. So, and let's put the two of them together for a story. Yeah. And it sounds like, that should
sounds
be
great.
Right?
Yeah.
I can tell you that it's basically the story of Batman and Robin becoming partners in a way. I can tell you the people in this book,
like life partners.
No.
Oh.
Like crime fighting partners.
Oh, okay.
CFPs.
I thought they were finally gonna drop that veil and just
because then, and you don't think about it, especially in this. There's a whole age thing, which would be super weird too, because he's 12.
Plus he's a boy wonder.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he's 12 in this.
He's 12 in this. Seriously. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's how young Dick Grayson is.
Never mind that I brought that up then.
So I can also tell you, Wonder Woman appears in it.
Okay.
Superman.
Okay.
Green Lantern. I'll save. No. I'll save. Plastic Man's in it.
Oh, Plastic Man.
Joker.
Plastic Man. There's a superhero you can take seriously.
Joker. Catwoman.
Yeah.
Black Canary.
Wow.
Like, this is jam packed, right?
Okay. This is getting into that territory that I worry about when you put too many heroes or villains into a vehicle.
Yeah, well, we'll get into it to see how well it works.
This is a series?
It was 10 issues.
10 issues. Okay.
10 issues of this from 2005 to 2008.
Okay.
So Just to get all the credit out of the way, then to everybody who deserves it. The book written by Frank Miller. It was penciled by Jim Lee, inked by Scott Williams, colored by Alex Sinclair.
Wow.
Lettered by Jared K. Fletcher.
Okay.
So I'm covering everybody before we dive in.
Yeah, it's a star-studded affair here.
It is. And big ups to something I appreciated. Another thing that I found really cool about the book was, and talking about the lettering, which is something I don't think you think about a lot, but every character, every main character, when they were focused on and they were having like inner dialogue or like thoughts to themselves.
Right.
It was different font for each character.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it was like there are things in
they
here.
Should
like
do that more often.
I can't tell you, like Jim Lee, it looks fantastic. The whole coloring through this whole thing, I will not bash how great it looks.
No, I really like the idea of everybody kind of being different like that. That's cool.
Yeah. So it adds.
It could lead to a big mess, though.
It could, but they also behind the bubbles, like they color them differently, and so like and that part I really enjoyed.
It's cool.
And again, I'm just trying to find, like just some art in general. Like it's a really just a very vibrant, just pretty looking book.
Is this Robin with the G on his? Oh yeah, this is when he's in the circus.
So I tell you all this, like. Yeah. Jim Lee does a fantastic job through all this. Sure. The art looks great. That is the last of anything good about this book.
Okay.
My utter words that I've never said before in my entire life when we talk about this. And those words are, I hate this Batman.
Really? Wow.
Frank Miller.
There are a lot of Batmen to hate too.
There are.
Because there's been so many iterations. Here's
the thing for me. I guess what I'll do before I just dive into the story is just make one point that I've noticed about Frank Miller. Is the earlier stuff, like Sin City, really enjoy. The Dark Knight Returns, the first one. It's fantastic.
300? He did 300?
Did he do 3? I can't remember.
I wanted to say he did 300 also.
But there came a time then where it feels like he just pushes his Frank Miller Batman more than anything. This is what I think a hero is. This is what I think certain characters are.
Yeah.
And the way he writes them has a very Frank Miller tone to it. Whereas like the women kind of feel degraded in this way.
Yeah.
Just the way they talk.
Right.
And you look at it from a book where like it's over sexualized a lot because that's kind of a Frank Miller style storytelling wise. And I think if you're Jim Lee, he was at the time, he's like, I'm working with Frank Miller. I get to try to do that Frank Miller style.
Right. Sure.
And it looks like just the colors and everything is
beautiful.
But the story and just how he uses certain characters, not even just this might be, I will say this is the worst comic I've read so far this year.
Did he write it?
Yeah.
He wrote the story
Frank
also.
Miller wrote the story.
All right.
And once I get into it, you'll realize, I feel like you'll feel kind of the same way. Let's get started. So you saw, I showed you the picture of the Flying Graysons. We begin just like most people think about with Robin, where he's a part of the trapeze, I guess
troop or whatever. Yeah.
His family, they're the Flying Graysons.
Yes.
Then it's just
Graysons.
that's what they've always been.
Stupid.
It's them just flying through the air, and then all of a sudden we are introduced to Vicky Vale,
Okay.
who people might remember as Kim Basinger's character.
Yes. She's there selling popcorn at the.
No, we flashed her apartment, which for a journalist is the swankiest apartment
She's got a really
I've
nice
ever
apartment.
seen.
Yeah.
Also,
She's taking bribes.
I guess, want you to know right away that Vicky Vale is she a knockout? Because the first time we see her is in a scene that I can only imagine that not many women usually find themselves on a Friday night or whatever night of the week.
Sure.
She's just walking around drinking a martini in her underwear and high heels.
Sure.
Because Frank Miller knows women.
Yes.
So that is the first time we meet Vicky Vale.
Yeah, when my wife wants to get comfortable, she puts on those extra high heels with the little poofs on the front of them. And just strips right down to her underwear and drinks a martini.
Because there's nothing, that makes her feel more relaxed.
Sure.
And everything.
Women can't feel their feet. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, they can't feel their feet. That's why they wear those high heels all the time.
I get it. And then it's just panels of just over
Oh my
sexualizing.
Lord. Yeah, she is really.
Right from the beginning. They're like, man, we're gonna get people in with this whole Vicky Vale looking
They were
sexy thing.
just like, well, we can't show her nude, but how close can we get?
It's kind of, again, this is what I bring back to Frank Miller in a way. It always seems that he likes to push things. I was trying to, well, not push, but this is
after Sin City, right?
Yeah, no, this is 2000. Yeah,
so
no.
he's already cashed in on a lot of these things, and probably in his mind he goes, okay, A, B, C, and D works. E doesn't work, but F does. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and one of them is over sexualized women.
Yeah, but to me too,
because Sin
though,
City, oh, good God.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But I go back and I look at like Dark Knight Returns, and it's like weird enough, right? Like, and it's like Frank Miller wants to make it more weird.
There's not a whole hell of a lot of women in Dark Knight Returns, right?
No, there's not.
There's the reporter on TV.
There's the one weird bad guy, the Nazi lady.
Yeah.
She makes an appearance in this too, by the way.
Oh, really? Wow.
Well, because it's a Frank Miller Batman story. I guess it's all interconnected somehow.
Yeah. He's got his own world.
Yeah. But it's just it's like he found something that worked with Dark Knight Returns, in my opinion.
Right.
And then when he went for the next thing, he looked at it and he was like, I bet you they like it because of how weird it is. Instead of focusing on the other things that could have made it a little better.
And I can't call it Dark Knight Returns.
No.
Yeah.
So basically, before I got off track, Alfred calls Vicky Vale to let her know that Bruce Wayne is inviting her to a date to the circus, because that's a great date.
That is a good date.
But also,
I feel like in Gotham, that is a good date, though.
it is in Gotham.
Like Gotham is weird enough to where they're like, oh, circus? Yes, please.
But do you also know that in all of these things, and I'm trying to think through the movies too, whenever they depict the circus, there's never any animals there.
No.
So it's an animalless circus.
Sure. It's a people circus.
It's a people circus, which kind of sounds weird to say. But either way, but I love
Everybody's
how
got their thing.
I love how they go from like, oh, Vicky Vale, she's sexy and strong. Like they go to like pandering to immediately Alfred tells her, oh, you got a date with Bruce Wayne. And she's like, I got a date with Bruce Wayne. I got a date with Bruce Wayne.
Make sure you wear your finest underthings.
Because we all know women hate men, except they can't get enough of them. It's Frank Miller logic.
They love them bad boys.
It'll come up a lot.
Yep.
So basically we go to make things, because we could be all day just me attacking Frank Miller on stuff. But
maybe she's just like deep down looking for a guy with a telescope or something, That's why she strips down and just parades around in her nothing but windows apartment.
She has one other scene, like big scene kind of after the first issue. And it's, again, just kind of over-sexualizing her.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
All right.
That's the thing, is it leads nowhere.
I'm trying to get somewhere with her.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
The beauty of this 10-issue storyline is there's not really an ending. It just got canceled. It just kind of came to an end. And even before they got to that point, you really don't know what the story is anyway.
For real.
Dude.
Wow. Okay.
All
right.
So we reimagine the Dick Grayson storyline where instead of his parents falling, after like something snapping to their death, they're both shot in front of Robin.
Sure.
And Batman.
Up on the trapeze?
No, after they've landed and they're posing, they get shot. Batman apparently is just like, oh, he's entered my world now.
Anybody who loses their parents.
I'm about to recruit this kid for a war.
Yeah.
Because when I see an orphan, let's get ready to train him into a crime fighting machine.
When I see an orphan.
This Batman, I hate to say this phrase, so I'll say it once and then I'll go afterwards.
Sure.
But there is a phrase that comes up, I would say at least 20 times throughout the book. And I might not be that much. It feels like it's a lot. It's probably about 10, but it comes from Batman mostly.
Okay.
And then also, I think Jim Gordon says it. Black Canary says it. It comes up a phrase, but it's the goddamn Batman. Batman usually quotes it to himself where he's like, I am.
Wait. He says, I am the goddamn Batman?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
That's dumb.
We haven't even got to the,
that's stupid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he is all about, okay, so.
I am MF and Superman. Yeah. That's just stupid.
It is.
Yeah. Third person, too.
Exactly. And he does, in all the inner dialogue, like, this is the craziest Batman ever. And I guess it's trying to show you like, hey, this is between how we get to, this is in my world, how it kind of story that could connect it to the Dark Knight Returns, all the Miller verse or whatever you read.
Prequel.
But it's just from the beginning, you don't like him. So
that's a real problem when you don't like the main character.
Exactly. You don't like any of the characters in this, which is the
Yeah.
problem. And it's Batman and it's like all these people. Also, so I guess basically the cops come, Batman hunts down to see who it was that was the shooter.
Right.
Kind of, I think he uses snake venom or something to poison him. And, basically hands him over to the cops.
Goddamn snake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he catches the killer of the Graysons, and the cops go and take Dick Grayson, and they say that they're going to take him back to the station. Vicky Vale knows you don't trust the popos in Gotham.
Sure.
So they follow the Gotham City police, and they take him to this gulch. This gulch.
Gulch.
And Vicky just knows that they're going to kill Dick Grayson because if they kill the kid, they don't have to worry about finding the killer. It's another cover up. Like,
What?
dude, that's
What a
the
great
thing.
plan.
No, there's multiple times. It's such weird wording because there's multiple times that it's brought up where it's like, you're used to cops in other places and you thought that, that they're pretty good for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dick Grayson's like, yeah. Batman's like, not in Gotham. You don't trust the law.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks,
Dude,
Batman.
Thanks,
GD Batman.
Batman comes in, saves the day, basically kidnaps Dick Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. The hero of the comic has now apparently he already knows a lot about the kid the first time he watches him.
Right.
Because he's like, oh, I've had my eye on this kid. So he's been planning on like recruiting him for a crime fighting partner even before his parents died, which is kind of weird and creepy.
That is weird.
Because he's 12
Been
years
watching
old.
a 12-year-old
Also,
kid.
I think it's brought up at one point in time that he was a black belt in karate by the time he was 8 or 9, which is bullshit to begin with too.
He's so
And
flexible.
sometimes it's just a little lazy storytelling, I think.
Yeah, sure.
But so Batman has already
You know what's
kidnapped
the
a
laziest?
child.
You know what's the laziest part to me
Huh.
is that both of them had their parents killed the same way.
Yes.
That's dumb.
Yes.
Yeah, at least in most of the stories, his parents fall to their death and that kind of thing.
And
It is kind of the same, but at least it's a different way.
And this book has so much dialogue.
Really.
It is so dense, but only half of it is between two people. It's a
Most
lot
of it is like half of it is just inner
thoughts.
dialogue.
Yes.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, that sucks.
So he takes him back to the Batcave basically, and locks him down there and tells him if he gets hungry he can eat some rats or bats down there. I also forgot to mention that in the car there,
And that's where Corona started.
when he puts him in the car, he puts his hand over his mouth to keep him quiet.
These are all bad
This is-
things.
It is, and this is the first issue.
These are all bad things.
Then, as he moves his hand back, you see gas. He has gassed Robin to get him not to be so like crazy and hysteric as he's
That's
driving him back to the
fantastic.
Batcave.
Good job, Batman.
Then they get into an argument about something, or Robin makes fun of him for something, and Batman straight up backhands him. Just right there in the car.
Batman's a great guy in this.
So
one.
if you're counting down how great Batman is with kids, in just one issue of this story, we have kidnap, we have abuse, we have, and the fact that he basically drugged him too.
Drugged him.
And left him in the Batcave to eat
with no food.
with no food.
Yeah.
Told him he can eat rats or bats until he could come up with, and basically just left him down there to his.
Sure.
The storyline.
This is sounding like true crime so far.
No, it's just so bad. So
Yeah.
through all of this,
Wait, look, can I rewind just a bit?
yeah, go ahead.
Vicky Vale was involved in this. How?
So that's the thing. Vicky Vale, in the attempt to go after to get a picture of this, to like, Gotham City's cops are corrupt. Through the explosion and everything from Batman fighting them, there was an accident because her and Alfred are driving together because she left the circus with him.
Okay.
And she has very bad injuries from the car accident from the explosion.
Tore her underwear right off.
No, well, it's like, it's weird too because it's like a piece of her clavicle and one of her ribs is like just like floating around free. I don't remember.
Yuck.
It was just something weird. It was a weird thing to describe as an injury.
No big deal. Go back to where you were. Yeah.
No, because I'll say then that they take her to the hospital, and Alfred calls Batman to be like, hey, she's seriously injured.
I'm a goddamn doctor.
Well, he goes, go get Dr. So-and-so. And basically Alfred's like, oh, he's out of the country. And he goes, that's fine. He can fly. Call Kent at the, where does Clark Kent work? What's the paper?
At the
Daily Planet.
Yeah.
He knows how to get a hold of him. And like he hangs up on Alfred and he's like, that's got to bother him that I know who he is and he doesn't know who I am.
Ugh.
Yes, this is the worst Batman ever.
This is douche, man.
Yes. That's funny. When I was thinking about it last night, I called him Bat Douche.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's the same thought. But so Superman's kind of goes and like brings this doctor back for Vicky and then just drop there. Again, it's just drop there.
I love how Superman's like an Uber.
He's just like pissed off the whole time.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So the story then is Batman trying to figure out who was atop of the hit to kill Robin's family. While all this is going on, and I have to pull up my photos of things that I saved to make sure that there you go. I had to show you the GD Batman line so you could believe it yourself.
Number one, his cowl in this thing looks more like Daredevil than Batman.
It has the short bat ears.
What are you, dense? Are you retarded or something?
Oh,
Good
I forgot
God.
about that. Yes.
Who the hell do you think I am? I'm the goddamn Batman. Ugh.
Right?
God, what a jackass.
Here's the thing, too. It also comes up twice.
Yeah.
Both Black Canary and Robin called the Batmobile queer.
Oh. So you've got the word queer, you've got the word retarded, and then you've got the GD Batman all the time. That's great.
This is some of the best Batman
Frank
writing
Miller.
you're going to find.
You did it.
And we haven't even hit the worst part yet, Mike. The worst part to me comes at the very end, and it's just...
It's when he pimps out Robin.
So, no, we don't get there. But basically, Vicky Vale, I guess, gets a picture of, or somehow there's a picture of Batman interfering with the cops and the boy. So they think that Batman kidnapped the little kid.
Which he did.
It's made its way to Metropolis, like the story. Wonder Woman shows up because she's going to meet, we find out, the Justice League there. Or what is the beginning of the Justice League. It's
Squirrel
Superman.
Boy. Oh.
No, it's Superman, it's Green Lantern, and it's Plastic Man.
Gotcha.
And then Wonder Woman. Something that I'm sure you want the first words out of Wonder Woman. Again, a character who is to... I can't get over how he writes dialogue for this sometimes, but she's walking down the street and she has just this pissed off look on her face.
Everybody's pissed off.
Wants everybody to just get out of her way. And the words, again, this is the first words of this book from Wonder Woman. Out of my way, sperm bank.
Ah, come on.
And then, of course, we have to over-sexualize Wonder Woman as well.
Lord.
She gets in the elevator.
She's in a trench coat.
Well, there's a scene. She gets in the elevator, like undoes the trench coat, and it's like it falls off her shoulders, kind of.
Sure.
Because we got to sexualize Wonder Woman too.
Sure.
Wonder Woman basically tells them, like, "Hey, we have to take care of this asshole in Batman."
Out of my way, sperm bank.
Yeah. Wonder Woman tells the other three, basically, what we need to do is we need to go take care of him, put his head on a spike, so everybody knows we police ourselves. That's Wonder Woman's thought. Because Wonder Woman, I just look off.
I got you. Sure.
Wonder Woman, homicidal maniac.
Yeah.
That's always been one of
They
her.
all are.
Yeah. Superman's like, no, cooler heads need to prevail. Green Lantern's like, hey, let's not do anything until I talk to him. Just try to see where it's at.
Then we'll rip out his small intestine.
Yeah. Did he? Maybe he didn't kidnap this kid.
Right.
And they're like, he's flying off the handle. He's, batshit insane. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Actually, sure, pun intended. But it ends with a fight between Wonder Woman and Superman verbally. Like they're back and forth with one another. And then she turned around to leave basically like a giant F you guys and then turns around to kiss Superman. Because what is the stupidest thing she could do at that moment? That. So let's go ahead and put it in there.
Sure.
So we have pent ups,
what I used to buy comic books for were the like, watch mom and dad fight,
Yep.
to hear things, you just see pissed off people on the pages pushing each other out of the way. I love a good child kidnapping.
Yep.
All of these things are great.
Oh, well,
you know what it does? It starts making things like that kid who could turn into a truck look good.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
U.S. Archer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't turn into a truck.
Well, you know what I mean.
He had
He can control all the trucks
So
with his
through-
bubblegum brain or whatever it was.
no, he chewed on the bubblegum wrapper to
right.
reset it. Yeah. You should go back and listen to it. I think that was episode 4. Maybe it was 3. One of the two.
It's a good one.
Go back and check it out.
Yeah.
So it was a different kind of stupid. This is just bad.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I think this book is remembered most for, I guess, is just how bad and ridiculous Batman is in a lot of this.
So have you given me the entire story now?
I mean, we haven't finished it, but this is the premise of the story so far.
Oh my God. Yeah. This is bad.
It's about, Batman and Robin.
Yeah, because I keep waiting for there's Sinestro or, a meteor's falling from the sky or something.
There is a scene, I didn't even tell you about this. We start, I think, issue 3 at a bar. And there's Black Canary.
Batman's just drinking real hard.
Black Canary is a bartender there.
Black Canary is a bartender, sure.
And it's a different Black Canary because she has an Irish accent. But at least he doesn't write her with an Irish accent.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Sure.
So, but I mean, it's not Diana Lance or, But she basically gets tired of all the men hitting on her in the bar.
Right.
Even though we make sure that she's dressed as skimpy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not saying that the dudes had a right to do
right.
I realized how I said that. I was like, it's weird.
No. You're just saying that all the women in this thing are over-sexualized.
They are. And so all the men, at least the evil men, always, hit on the women too. Because Batman stops a rapist and breaks his arm in one of these just to show a little crime fighting.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Don't
you can't rape with a broken arm."
And he's like, "That's what he."
Sure.
The guy's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "It's a compound fracture, you rapist." And he was like, "It'll heal, but it'll never heal right. And then on those cold days, you'll remember this one because arthritis is gonna be a bitch."
What?
Theoretically,
he says arthritis.
He says arthritis.
Oh my God! Really?
I mean, I paraphrase some of it, but he does tell him that he'll basically
just
catch
wait
arthritis
in another 10 years when there's a front coming through.
And I'll be with him. And then he leaves and tells the woman, he's like, "If you have a shrink, you should probably talk to her. But just know that I'm always watching out for the city." And he runs away. She goes, "I love you, Batman." Because again, this book is ridiculous.
I love you, Batman. That's awesome.
So I had to remember where I was. Oh, Batman basically comes back to
I love you, Batman.
Yeah, Robin does eventually kill a rat, and he's supposed to come up with
So Robin's still down in the Batcave.
Yeah,
fending for himself.
And Frank Miller in this also loves to repeat dialogue a lot. So it's like there's one, that panel I showed you where there's 5 different panels of him jumping, trying to catch them. It says they always catch me in every single one of those panels because he is repeating dialogue a lot. And he does that a lot in all of this, and it shows up here too. But basically, to make it short, through the concept they have, because Batman does not have a good conversation with anybody. To progress the main storyline real quick. Oh, no. I was talking about Black Canary. I'll come back to Black Canary. Let me finish this point.
Okay.
So Batman and Robin get there, basically figure out, hey, all right, Robin tells him, hey, my dad always used to read me stories about Robin Hood. I'm going to be Hood. And he's taught himself how to use the bow and arrow that's down there.
Right.
And Batman walks over and he's like, if you fight anybody half as smart, and he grabs the hood and pulls it down. He's like, they'll do that. You're Robin. And he said, lose the hood, and walks over. So basically now we have Robin.
Yeah.
They're working on a, not alter ego, what do you call it? A secret identity for him.
Sure.
Back to Black Canary. So she beats up everybody at the bar after she gets tired. It has a picture of dynamite, and the comparison is the fuse getting shorter and shorter, and she explodes and, gets pissed off and beats up everybody in the bar because they're all, grabbing at her, touching her inappropriately. The things they're saying to her she doesn't like.
At this point in the series, now it's time to address the misogyny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that sends her over the edge, I don't know if it's this one or the next time it does it, but one of the guys, it just shows that I don't know if Frank Miller knows how. Man, I feel like I'm shitting on Frank Miller a lot. And I feel it's just this book.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Frank Miller in this book.
Right. Sure.
If you like him and other stuff, that's fine.
Yeah.
But love chunks. One of the guys calls her love chunks.
Love chunks.
And that's what sets her off.
Yeah.
Like I get Black Canary just being tired of it, but what the hell is love chunks? That does not sound like
my lovely lady love chunks.
No.
Yeah. Isn't that it?
It sounds like, they tried to make some kind of goulash sound great for kids.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
No, that one love chunks sounds
Love chunks.
See, it sounds disgusting. I don't know what it is, but she's also, there's a scene where she goes down to the pier, I guess, to help fight bad guys with Batman.
Sure.
Batman comes in and saves her because she's...
Bad guys are really stupid. They always hang out at the pier or a warehouse.
And I'll tell you, everybody in this, nobody is as prepared as Batman is.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Because he's Batman.
He's a GD Batman.
So he basically, just tells them how bad they are the whole time while they do it. I guess this is hot to Black Canary because the two of them end up doing it. And she says, keep the mask on. It'll be hotter that way. Because, of course... That's how all
fantastic.
superhero women are. And then you ready for this? That was
Keep
issue
the
5.
mask on.
Issue 5 never shows up again the rest of the series. So that is all we see of Black Canary. She was there to beat up people in a bar and just be a sexual object for Batman. And then we're gone.
Ghosted.
Yep.
Sure.
Also, while this is going on, we are introduced to Barbara Gordon, as in Jim's daughter. And she is dressed up like there's a scene where like she has the grappling hook and she dresses up as Batgirl. There's not really much there.
She's got like the Hooters shorts on.
No, not in that sense. I mean, just storyline. Like there's nothing there. The funniest part to me is she has a line where it's hard to lie to your dad, especially when he's a detective, but you can get good at it. Just remember to smile when you're bullshitting your dad. So maybe that could be
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That's a T-shirt.
That is. Remember to smile when you're bullshitting your dad. But she's just in it for no reason. Like she doesn't, add to the story at all.
Yeah. Just here's one more girl to get in.
I think at the end. No, I take that back. I think Black Canary comes up one more time. At the end, she has to like fight like a snuff film dealer kind of thing because it's Frank Miller.
Eesh.
So yeah, let's be as dark as possible. We see the Joker in there where he's basically just hooked up with some like
the Joker's like a good guy in this thing.
No,
he's like,
a
hey
lawyer.
guys.
He's got a dragon tattoo on his back. It looks like Jared Leto's Joker before.
Yeah, sure.
But he's like, he's like, I know all about you kind of thing. She's some like, lawyer or something with the DA's office.
Right.
So they've just hooked up. And what does he do afterwards? He kills her afterwards.
Okay.
And gets the Nazi woman from Dark Knight Returns to come clean up the dead body. That's her appearance.
Sure.
Basically, then he goes to...
you got to know how to use your Nazis.
He does. Yeah, exactly. He goes to talk to Catwoman and ask if she wants to help him with the scheme. Where that goes is they find Catwoman just beaten up in an alley later, and then nothing because the bet got canceled. I've saved all this for just wrapping up all the other loose ends to wrap up the main one here as I come back to Batman and Robin.
Sure.
And we talked about that they wanted Robin to be able to find a alter ego, if you will, a secret identity. Green Lantern,
Rat Boy,
shows up in Gotham to talk to Batman.
Okay.
When Batman finds him, tells him, meet me here, we'll talk. Green Lantern shows up to talk to Batman.
Good God, look at all this dialogue.
That's not why I'm showing it to you, Mike.
Why is Batman gold? Why is everything gold? I don't think
one of Green Lantern's weaknesses, if you'll remember, is his power ring does not work on anything the color yellow.
Oh.
So what is their bright idea to deal with this?
Paint everything
yellow. They
yellow.
paint everything yellow, including themselves.
What? They painted themselves?
Yellow.
That sucks.
Yeah. No. So they painted themselves yellow as not to have to.
Because, I mean, was he afraid that Green Lantern was going to kick his ass?
Going to use his power ring, I guess. Yeah.
How weird.
That was the Brad idea. Also, though, Green Lantern says, hey.
And Batman's just like walking around the room like, yeah, no big deal. Everything's yellow. I painted the throw pillows. I painted the dog.
Serving them lemonade.
Oof. Come on.
But then Green Lantern goes, we know that that's that Dick Grayson kid that you kidnapped. Go ahead, give him back up. Like,
sure,
you're a loose cannon.
Put him back in the circus.
And Robin basically goes, no, I'm not. That kid basically came out the other day. They found him. He was at the hospital, said everything was fine. They have planted a story now where Dick Grayson was presented back into police custody, and he's not.
But yet they have no proof of it or anything.
That
they just
Batman,
say it.
well, he like shows up and like he gives a press conference and he's like, no, Batman saved me from the police. And then I've been at the hospital.
No, okay.
And so Batman's like, you're talking about this kid? Ha ha ha, you're an idiot. Thinking that like that's his big, oh no.
How weird.
Dude, this whole book was just, it hurt my head.
Yeah.
And then he says something, Robin gets pissed off and hits him right in the kind of trachea area or right in the Adam's apple and kind of crushes his throat. And Batman has to trach Green Lantern so he doesn't die.
Wait. Robin punches Green Lantern in the Adam's apple.
You know, the straight throat chop.
And then Batman has to stick a pin in his neck.
So Robin doesn't kill Green Lantern.
Oh, come on. Wow.
Yeah, and then they go to the grave of Robin's parents and they kneel down and they hug and they cry.
That's wow. How great.
There's All-Star Batman and Robin. Hope that was
really
a fun jersey.
That is it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's rough, man.
Yeah.
That's one of the roughest stories. You know, some of these stupid comics that we've talked about before, at least they're stupid and they're fun, you know, and all that, you know, and you can laugh at it, you can do whatever. This one feels like a real slog to get through.
It was just, it's bad. And as much as I wanted to like it because the art looks great and all of it.
Sure.
The story is just awful.
It's just terrible.
Another thing I did want to tell you.
I'd love to see Green Lantern traked, though. That's
let me see if
what I'm looking for.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that for you. I think I have the comic here. Another thing, though.
Then Catwoman chokes and he gives her CPR.
It was just, it was a weird.
It was a hairball.
The whole read. It just was not, I did not enjoy it that much at all. Another thing, though, that I did want to tell you about, though, is I was flipping through things on DC the other day. And they had the Batman Death in the Family movie that they added. But since it's so short, it's other short collections as well. So I watched about a 15-minute, maybe a little less, 12-minute short cartoon that was directed by Bruce Timm, who did Batman the Animated Series and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was Sergeant Rock.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes. And he led, I know nothing about Sergeant Rock.
Yeah.
So I'll just tell you what he did in here. Is he led a squad of special soldiers. One was like a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
One was like a vampire and one was a werewolf.
Wonderful.
And they were against the Nazis.
That's great. Yeah, I love that.
So it exists if you want to go out there and find it.
No, man, I've always felt like we needed a Sergeant Rock like movie or something. But my problem with it right now is that if you did it, it would have to be The Rock. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, there it is. There's a Green Lantern being tracked by a yellow Batman. Yep. That's fantastic. Great. No. Last thing we need is a corpse on our hands. You stupid little snot. Wow, the dialogue is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, no, he is verbally abusive to Robin the whole time.
Great.
There is nothing redeeming about this Batman. So, again, I hated this Batman.
He is truly an anti-hero.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all the, like, there's a point where he goes, "Y'all are villains," and he goes, "Well, we've always been villains." Like, we just like.
Well, how depressing. That's great. Thanks.
So, just know that's what you can pick up when you pick up anything Frank Miller here lately.
And that's so bad though, because like I really thought Frank Miller was like a genius. You know,
he has a style.
Yeah,
and it's
obviously.
Like that. So there you go. That was this week's episode. I hope you
poor Robin.
Enjoyed how bad it was. Yeah, poor Robin. But hey, he gets
poor
to
Green
hang out.
Lantern, I guess. Really,
he gets to hang out with the GD Batman.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, I don't like that. I didn't like that at all.
Yep. Nope. He was just so.
It's just terrible.
It was bad.
And it was supposed to go on, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
I think it was supposed to be a 12 or 13
this.
issue run. And yeah, because there were so many delays.
Yeah.
Like All-Star Superman came out like it kept a schedule.
Right.
This one, like it started in 2005 and they canceled it in 2008.
Wow.
So 10 issues in that time?
10 issues in 3 years.
Yes.
Wow.
It was always delayed. And there's a reason why.
Good job, Frank Miller. You know, he's only like 64 years old.
He looks older than that, though.
Doesn't he? He seems like he should have been around for like 100 years. You know?
Yeah, kind of. And he kind of has a strange look of, did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
What was the dad Lannister?
Yeah, I know. He kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also kind of looks like one of the horror guys. One of the guys who writes horror. I can't remember.
Stephen King.
No.
Greg Nicotero. No,
he's got the long
costumes.
hair though. Like I don't know. He's just kind of creepy.
The scientist from Independence Day.
That's exactly what I was thinking. No.
The one that gets taken over by them.
But sure. Yeah.
Right.
It is close.
Yeah.
It is close
There
though.
you go.
You're right.
He kind of does look like dang it, I forgot his name. Not Bill Paxton. Who played the president in Independence Day?
Bill was Paxton, wasn't it?
No, Bill Paxton was in Tombstone and Twister. And,
it's the one that's dead, right?
Yeah, Bill Paxton's no longer with us.
Bill Paxton died?
Yeah.
Then it's the other Bill, right?
Yeah, the other Bill. I just can't think of his name. He's in The Sinner, whatever that show
Bill
is.
Johnson. He's really great.
Good shout out to the actor Bill Johnson.
You got a great career, Bill Johnson.
Maybe also
Sure.
Ted Flanagan. Shout out to that actor.
Ted Flanagan.
Any other people we need to shout out
As
to?
the boy wonder.
The boy wonder. Nope.
Yeah.
This has been Bros, Foes, and Heroes. As always, you can find us on Instagram, Bros, Foes, Heroes, or feel free to shoot us an email, brosfoesandheroes@gmail.com.
I feel like this comic like really depressed you.
It didn't depress me as in like I read it and I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I wanted to keep going because I was
Right.
like, how much worse is this going to get?
And what's the point?
Yeah, it's like the old people like to rubberneck when you go past an accident.
Yeah.
It was just that kind of thing in a way where you're like, oh, that was bad. Oh, this is going to get worse. And so you just keep flipping through.
Oh, there's a head on the ground.
Yeah. And then you're like, well, great. That's how I've got to spend my Tuesday.
Well, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry to sent you down a dark path like that, but
no, not at all. I still enjoy reading it because even bad comics, I still,
they're still
find
comics.
fun. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's still Batman. It's a different look at Batman. And now I can realize that there is a way that I will extremely dislike the character.
We need some more Captain Carrot and his zoo crew.
Yeah, no, we'll come back.
You know?
I will come back just lighter and less ridiculous. It was a different kind.
More ridiculous.
More ridiculous. How can I put
a little lighter?
A little lighter.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Lighter and more ridiculous.
Lighter, more ridiculous. I can find that. This probably means we're going back to the 80s or 70s. So y'all buckle up. Until next week, though, I'm Zach, joined by Mike. We appreciate it as always, and you guys take care.
Got it, gone!
Bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.